The 8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask the question, could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise evil eyes that burn a hole in my head. This devil man and his master plan. We feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take all back. Rise up, take it all back. Rise up, hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
All right. Apparently, there was an update for my voice stuff, and I didn't click OK for some strange reason. Whatever. What's up, Gerald? How you doing? How's your Friday handle or going for you? It is Friday. I'm a little excited. First of all, I really want to do the Antichrist thing on the biblical chat. So we're going to be trying to get that together and do that. Other than that, Not too much. Got paid, so that's nice, right? Contacted Guns Coast to Coast, waiting to hear back from him. Might get some new equipment, and if I do, I don't know. I don't want to get too excited about it. You know, it's not a done deal. And if it ends up like it doesn't work out, it's actually okay with me. I've got plenty of things that I can spend money on right now. You know, it's a little overwhelming, to be honest. There's so many things that I want to do. I want to improve our credit so that I can get a loan from a bank to go buy some property to then rent out to then make money. And I won't even make money then because I'll be paying almost probably right about 100% of whatever I earn straight back to the bank to make the payments. That way it gets, paid off quicker. Obviously, I'm going to have to figure out how much to put back for repairs or anything like that would come up, but I don't know anything about it. I just know that I want to get into it, and so there's that. But that would definitely take money, which we have a little bit now, and so that's what we could play with. Other than that, there's a few other things that we've been wanting to do, so we're trying to figure all that out. Other than that, my Friday's been pretty chill. I got yelled at by a homeless guy. So we were grocery shopping and coming out, had a lot of stuff in the cart or whatever. This guy approaches us, asks us, "Hey, you need any help?" Like, no, thank you. That's exactly how I said it with everything. Well, I'm recently homeless. Could you help me out? No, thank you. And then he starts walking away, right? I'm thinking, okay, whatever. It's another homeless guy. How many? I don't know where you guys live. I know, Gerald. You probably live a little bit on the outskirts, and in Maine, I doubt that you're gonna have that many homeless people anyway. I don't know. Maybe you would, especially this time of year, right? But it's an epidemic here. It's an absolute epidemic. I cannot go out anywhere without getting approached by a homeless person. So he's bitching on his way out, right? I forget exactly what he said. I think he called my wife a fat bitch, right? Wife heard that. I heard that. And so she gets mouthy, right? And then he's like going around and around in circles around this thing. And you should be more Christian like and read the good book. I'm like, bro, let's have a I didn't. I tried to de-escalate the situation as much as I could because little girl was not helping it out, and I didn't want to really shoot the guy. You know what I mean? That's the last thing I want to do on my Friday, especially after we got all these groceries that are gonna go bad if I have to sit here in the parking lot and talk to police officers for however long. You know, Bangor has a bunch of them. I suppose the bigger cities. Out in the country, it's going to be a lot less because there's not as many people to ask for money. But this guy had a bad attitude. I mean, you're going to say that I was being bitchy to you because I said no thank you? What it is he didn't know that we overheard him calling her names. And then when she yelled at him, he apparently most likely thought that she was just being a bitch. Little did he realize that she had already heard what he said, including I did. Anyway, so that was our little event today. Ashli Babbitt's mother was told Senator Feinstein has no time for her. "Ma'am, I'm sorry for your unfortunate situation, but if your daughter hadn't stormed the Capitol, she wouldn't have been shot." Wow. The mother of Ashli Babbitt revealed this week that when she called the office of Senator Dianne Feinstein from California office after her daughter was shot and killed during this January 6th event, she was told that Feinstein didn't have any time for her. The first time Mickey Wilthroff, Babbitt's mother, called Feinstein's office, a stranger hung up on her and insisted he did not know who Babbitt was. The second time she called, the staffer answered, but Wistoff instead insisted that she speak to Feinstein for just 2 minutes. "Ma'am, I'm sorry for your unfortunate situation, but if your daughter hadn't stormed the Capitol, she would not have been shot." Withroff recalls the staffer telling her, according to the American Greatness, Dianne Feinstein will never Have 2 minutes for you. Apparently, that's a quote. Wythoff said it's been devastating to see the way the media has treated her daughter, making her out to be a traitor. Wow, I've missed that. When she and other protesters present at the Capitol that day were just true patriots doing what former President Trump told them to do, they believe this was a stolen event. To this day, Withroff says she still does not know exactly who shot her daughter. The federal government has thus far refused to identify which officer fired the fatal shot. Well, we all know who it is. And I mean, I'm sure somebody could find out where that person may or may not reside. I mean, smart people out there. Conservative media outlets, including Real Clear Investigations, has identified the killer as Capitol Police Lieutenant Mike Bird. Hopefully that doesn't get me kicked off. I don't think I'm supposed to say that name. Crap. Lothrop says it's been even more upsetting to see sitting Republicans defend the government's silence. For example, Senator Kevin Kramer of North Dakota responded to a question from a caller during a radio interview this week, claiming Babbitt was a criminal. She was a criminal that deserved to die. What would be the purpose of releasing that officer's name? Kramer asked the caller. What do you need to know the officer's name for? Oh, here's the thing right here. Yeah. Because I'm a citizen of the United States, that's why I have the right to know. Why don't I have the right to know? Why don't you tell me that? Senator Kramer says, well, first off, I don't know. The person who shot her. I'm guessing no. Why don't I have the right to know, Kevin? Because the person that shot her is a police officer shooting a criminal, not complying with officers telling her to stop. Don't come through that window. We have guns drawn. Don't do it. They protecting people, and the officer was found to be innocent of any wrongdoing. So then what would the purpose of me releasing that officer's name? What do you need to know that officer's name for? Well, because we know everybody else's name if police officer shoots a citizen of this country. I mean, crying out loud, if you shoot an illegal alien, we're going to know that police officer's name. This is a police officer that shot someone in our capital, and his name is being withheld. Personally, I don't know what the law says about releasing someone's name. He is not a suspect of any crime. He's been found not guilty of any wrongdoing. It seems to be kind of a textbook situation. Frankly, I'm the one who personally does not think there is a right to know the name of every police officer who shoots a criminal or perpetrator, unless, of course, there are charges brought or an indictment brought or something like that. I'll look into to see what the law says about the release of the name. I'm just grateful for this person, quite honestly. Wow. Not only is he defending the person who shot Ashli Babbitt, but he's praising him. Responses like Kramer's are infuriating, Ristroff said. She was there exercising her First Amendment rights. This country was founded on brave men and women, and I feel like that's what our patriots were doing. Well, I'll tell you what. So bad here. They're going to have lots more Sunday. The city's money ran out, and the Ramada they've been putting them up in. Ooh. Yeah, we have tent cities all over the city. We used to go walking down this canal. Well, it's hot, so we haven't been doing that. But we go east on the canal nowadays because one time we're like, hey, let's go west on the canal this time just to change it up a little bit. There was a homeless encampment down there, and I tell you what, we were definitely out of place. We were strapped and had a pit bull. Nobody fucked with us, but still, Ashli Babbitt. I don't know. She was at a public facility that the taxpayers built for. I mean, we built that. That's our place. They're charging them with trespassing, right? I think some sort of weird trespassing though, so that they can get 20 years out of them. You shoot somebody for trespassing. I mean, if they're armed and they're not doing stuff, I mean, I don't know. You answer those questions. What do you guys think? I know what you guys think. The eviction memorandum is up at the end of the month. There's going to be a lot of homeless people. Yep. All over. Yeah. Everybody, if you didn't know that, and I forget exact, I think it was Guns Coast to Coast that I learned that. Maybe it was somebody else. That the homeless or the eviction memorandum, you couldn't get evicted because of COVID. Shit. Which, you should definitely take precautions to protect yourself however you deem necessary. But yeah, that whole protection on rent is going to be ending pretty soon. I doubt that that's going to make situations better. I have a feeling that's going to make a lot of desperate people, unfortunately, because landlords ain't going to put up with that forever. They got rent to pay too. Same here all over Bangor, all the river and most wooded areas. You got to admit though, being homeless is about as being as free as you can in this current situation. Right out here, don't see any. They seem to like the city streets. Yeah, you don't usually get too many out in the country. There's not enough people to beg. Biden just asked to extend it. Are they? How long are you going to extend it? And what about the property owners? I'm looking at getting into property owning. What happens? Do they get a break from the bank? Hey, my people haven't paid rent in like a year and a half. Can I just keep on not paying you because I don't have any other income coming in? Justice Department says IRS must give Trump tax returns to Congress. The Justice Department, in a reversal from the previous administration, says the Treasury Department must provide the House and Ways and Means Committee former President Trump's tax returns, apparently ending in a long legal showdown over the records. In a memo dated Friday, Justice Office of Legal Counsel said the committee chairman has invoked significant reasons for requesting the former president's tax information, and that under federal law, Treasury must furnish the information to the committee. You know what this is? This is them trying to get even more shit on Trump before 2024. I honestly think they're that fucking worried. With all these states doing the audits, stuff like that, I wouldn't doubt it. The 39-page memo is signed by Don Johnson, installed by the Biden administration as the acting head of the legal counsel office. During the Trump administration, then Secretary of Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said he wouldn't turn over the tax records because he concluded they were being sought by Democrats who controlled the House of Representatives for partisan reasons. The committee sued for the records under federal law that says the Internal Revenue Service shall furnish the returns of any taxpayer to a handful of top lawmakers, which will then leak it to the media. The committee said it needs Trump's taxes for an investigation into whether he complied with tax law. I'm sure that's exactly what it was. Trump's Justice Department defend Munich's refusal, and Trump himself also intervened to try to prevent the materials from being turned over to Congress. Under a court order from January, Trump would have 72 hours to object after the Biden administration formally changes the government's position in the lawsuit. Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance Jr. already has obtained copies of Trump's personal and business tax records as a part of an ongoing criminal investigation. Yeah, somebody going to jail. It wasn't Hillary, was it? Trump tried to prevent his accountants from handing over the documents, taking the issue to the Supreme Court. The justices rejected Trump's argument that he had broad immunity as president. House Speaker Pelosi said the tax returns remain an interest to lawmakers. Asked to former President Trump's tax returns is a matter of access to his Trump's tax returns is a matter of national security. National security. But the whole thing with China, Russia and Trump was a thing until it wasn't. Now we're finding out that wasn't really a thing. Like we didn't know that. But now we have China and Biden. I don't know if it's true or not. I know that laptop sure does hold a lot of cool stuff in it. Why does anybody want to go after that? See, this is why this is not getting any better. This is not going to get any better. This country is in a downfall because used to be that, yes, you would have some bipartisanship on stuff. And every decade, it got a little bit further and further apart, right? The right went righter and the left went lefter, right? And I don't know when that exactly started, but I would say probably in the 60s, right? Just a slow spread of these people to the point where you would never have an administration going after the previous administration. Look at Trump. Actually, let's look at Obama. Obama looked back at was the first president to criticize, I think, in my opinion, the first one to criticize that much the former president, which was Bush. And then you had Trump, who used Obama every chance he could and definitely went after his ass, including taking out all the stuff that he had passed by executive order. A little bit further apart. And now you have Joe Biden, who the press is pretty good to, especially considering all the shit Joe has done. Can you imagine some of the stuff that we've been hearing for the last 6 months out of Trump's mouth? If in a Trump presidency, oh my goodness, the media would not give him any rest at all. But they're giving Biden a rest. This whole laptop. Can you imagine if Trump's son had a laptop with that kind of information on it? You don't think that that would be in every single news station? A little bit further apart. What's the next administration? What if Trump does run in 2024? What if Trump wins in 2024? What do you think he's going to do in retaliation? It's going to get worse. It's going to get further apart. And then eventually you're going to have administrations or people in power putting people in jail or trying to put people in jail, which they're already trying to do with Trump. If they can get him in jail, that's exactly what they're trying to do right now. They need to get him out of the run. They know for a fact a lot of Trump supporters are like pissed and would vote for him again in a heartbeat. Anyway. Access to former President Trump's tax returns is a matter of national security. The American people deserve to know the facts about his troubling conflicts of interest and underwhelming our security and democracy as president, Pelosi said in a statement. The issue has its roots in the 2016 presidential campaign, which Trump claimed that he could not release his taxes due to an IRS audit. What's up, Anonymous? How you doing? Yeah, homeless people. Some of them are long-term crazy. It's all the drugs, most of them. I would say, and I don't know. I'd say a good portion. How about that? That's an accurate number. A good portion of homeless people are homeless because they spent their rent money on drugs, and they had a good time doing it, and now they're homeless, sucking dick and doing sex for it, I guess. That's a good portion. I wouldn't say it's all of them. People here are disabled that refuse or get help. Get drug addicts, veterans, crazy types, scammers, and drifters. I've seen a few that said they were military, and I'm like, I don't know about that. But at the same time, I do know there's a lot of homeless vets. It's difficult to discern between the scammers and the drifters versus, the ones. Well, the drug addicts can be kind of easy to figure out. But especially here in Arizona, it's so damn hot, right? You think, well, they're just touched by the sun. Well, some of them are, I guess. Some of them aren't. The states have billions left for the landlords if the tenants would apply for it, but the states pay the landlord, so lots of them aren't applying for it because they don't get the money the landlord does. Okay, that explains a little. Thank you very much, Gerald. Well, I'm glad to hear that people that, own properties are still getting paid because, I'd be pissed if I wasn't getting my rent. You know what I mean? Very few homeless in my area, but the cities are the worst. I gotta get out of the city, man. I cannot go anywhere, absolutely nowhere, without having a homeless person try to get money from me. Getting gas. They come up to you at the pump while you're pumping gas. They sit near the entrance of the gas station. So when you go in to get something, they're right there. The grocery store. Fucking church, most likely. I don't know. I haven't been to church in a few years, but still. Newsmax played a video of Hunter Biden having a call with his deceased brother's wife while he was dating her, and he was smoking crack today. Yeah, no.
All right, move on. Nothing to see here. Please, experts. Nothing to see here, please.
Really? Newsmax played a video of Hunter Biden having a call with his deceased brother's wife while he was dating her. And he's smoking crack today. Huh. Well, that's actually pretty decent then. I'm sure there's very little data on homeless survivalists out there. The ones that just, you know why? Because they don't ask you for money. They're most likely just long-term camping. Sure, most homeless people are under the yeah. That's why I said being homeless is probably. I mean, they give you free cell phones nowadays, so I wouldn't doubt that they have some idea where they all are. But if you really want to live free, that's about as free as you can live. Go save up some of your money, capitalism and all that shit. Go buy yourself a whole bunch of camping gear. And then just try to learn how to walk around with all that shit on your back. If you can do that, most likely you can survive. There's rivers with fish and all sorts of things you can do. And I mean, I know some people that kind of live like that. Not quite. They still have a place or whatever. At least I've seen people like that. And they'll sell stuff that they make. And that's how they make their money. He took a long hit. I'm not sure. Did he? Is it video or is it audio? I don't think it's a great idea to smoke crack, but it's even worse to smoke crack and allow you to video it. Oh, please. If it's on video, bro, he was recording himself. Well, yeah, he was also smoking crack. He's obviously not that smart. If there's video of it, dude, I gotta have a link. He's the son of the politician. It was a Zoom call. Probably has influenza and thinks his dad can just fix it. Okay, I'm gonna go find this. They're all over the place. When you get out of the city, you don't see them. Yeah, exactly. Same here. Same here. When we went up to Overguard for a couple days, it was the same there, kinda. We did have. I think I did see one in the small town near it, which is Payson. What, Newsmax? Tell me there's video of this. Okay. Hunter Biden said he picked for crack off dirty carpets. Okay. That's not what I clicked on. When was this? April 21. Okay, that's not the right one. What did you say? The desktop audio ain't working? Not working. All right, hold up. Why is that not working? Properties. Audio properties. Hold on a second. Let me test something. Hey, I can watch myself. Why not? Oh, we'll watch this just to get the sound. See if I have. No. There we go. Thank you. Setting got changed somehow.
well, I think we should discuss that while you're there.
Okay,
Yeah.
but why did you call me at 9 o'clock in the morning to tell me that? On the morning that the Marine Dowd article comes out.
I didn't know about Marine Dowd.
Well, you
and
did
I guess
before
I
you
thought
started
that
talking to me,
you wouldn't
Allie.
attack me, that you would be a bit more humble.
I did
but
not
I was
attack
wrong,
you.
and it pissed me off.
I didn't attack you.
Okay, you said I'm going to use against you.
No,
Okay.
I said to
and
you,
then
Hallie,
you said I haven't been
I don't want to
supportive.
give you
You didn't
information
notice
about
I
this
was being
program
supportive.
because
Okay.
I'm afraid that you'll use it against me as not
Okay,
being enough.
I can't keep talking. We're going to go round and round in
I'm
circles.
not arguing, Hallie. I'm asking you.
Okay, I don't know. I think we should schedule a visit, and we'll talk with the therapist. I'm not going to continue to argue, and I don't want to talk and make things worse.
Get it, boy, get it.
Hello?
Alrighty then. So there it was. There's Hunter Biden apparently smoking crack. One guy lost his job holding a sign that says he was homeless, but he brings in between $600 and $800 a day. Has a nice place, about $2. Yeah. Well, I've already told you guys this before. Maybe you weren't here. I don't know. Keep track of everything I talk about like for the last year and a half. But yeah, we do have a neighbor who, well, is it on our block or another block? I forget. But he has a Corvette, like a 70s Stingray kind of Corvette, right? Nice classic one. And I seen him walking, and you know, he's got his homeless sign. He looks homeless or whatever, and he goes in there. And I'm like, oh shit, is he still in the vet? Is he still in the vet? Oh shit, I might have to put this homeless person down. The dude brings out keys, opens the door, and goes inside. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Let's see. But thanks for stopping by, Bob. Boy, huh? Oh, did we get something? Transparency. Oh, okay. Is building is illegal. Getting shot in the fucking head is perfectly acceptable punishment. Cool, bruh. Yeah, you can argue that, but here's the problem. Whose property was that? Who owns that building? Who paid for that building? Do they allow tourists in there any other time? Who paid for it? Who paid for it? And a lot of people would disagree with that. So, I mean, but yeah, thanks. Okay, gotta go. Kids need to be put to bed. All right, see you later, Anonymous. Have a great weekend. Been a while since we got a troll. My Pillow, Mike Lindell yanks all ads from Fox News. That's interesting. Why would he do that? Like, dude, don't you need the business? Or did Fox News piss him off? One of Fox News' most visible advertisers, Mike Lindell, and his My Pillow line of products has been pulled commercials from the network over a refusal to air an ad promoting his upcoming cyber synopsum that he says will show and explain reams of evidence of Darfing last November. Dude, I'm ready. I'm seriously ready for him to shut the hell up, bro. We watched a video of his the other day where he's just going on and on and on about how Trump's going to be back in the White House in August. Like I think he might also be doing crack. You're a businessman and you're getting involved in this shit and overtly involved. You're going to be penniless and probably homeless yourself pretty quick. Fox confirmed the moves on Friday, which were first reported by Wall Street Journal. Lindell's face is well known. Yeah. He told the Journal he spent $50 million last year on advertising on Fox. He must sell a lot of fucking pillows. Lindell has invested in and investigated greatly evidence of what happened last November. He had sought to promote a synopsum next month where some of the claims are to be presented. I'm tired of it. He has pulled together an impressive list of watchdogs and experts whose discoveries have been shown on Lindell's hosted online programs. It's unfortunate Mr. Lindell has chosen to pause his commercial time on Fox News, given the level of success he has experienced in building his brand through advertising on the #1 cable news network, Fox News. A representative for Lindell did not immediately return a message. You know what? It's fine. bro, do you? I mean, if there was any malfeasance, I do want to know. I do. But at the same time, he made a video like I don't know how long ago, not very long ago, saying that Trump is still gonna get in by August. Like they're just gonna remove Biden. Like, sorry, Biden. No, yeah, we thought you did too, bro, but I guess not. Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, yeah, he fucked you over. Sorry about that. You gotta go. Maybe next year. I don't think so. I don't think so. Wisconsin legislator, top Republican, expands probe into their stuff that happened last November. The highest ranking Republican in Wisconsin Assembly said Friday that he was expanding a probe into last November's event, saying it will take more investigators and more time than originally planned. Assembly Speaker Robin Voss signed contracts in June with 2 retired police detectives and a former Wisconsin Supreme Court justice to handle the investigation. But amid growing calls from former President Trump and other Wisconsin Republicans for a broader audit, Voss on Friday said he was expanding the probe. He announced the move just 3 days after he said a fellow Republican lawmaker who was calling for a forensic audit was misinformed about the work already underway. It has become clear that a top to bottom investigation will take longer than initially anticipated and will require more manpower to complete, Voss said in the statement. So it looks like Wisconsin might be doing an audit soon. Voss said he was declaring former Justice Michael Gableman as special counsel and giving him the authority to hire more full-time investigators. Voss did not immediately respond to the request for additional details on how much the investigation, which is being paid for by taxpayers, would cost. The original contracts called for a spending about $72,000 through September on the investigation. Voss had wanted to hire 3 former police detectives, but only signed contracts with 2. It wasn't immediately clear what they had been doing to date. As of Tuesday, they had not contacted either the Wisconsin Election Commission or the Dane County Clerk's office. Both agencies told the Associated Press in response to an open records request. After talking with our original investigation team, we realized that the part-time nature of these contracts is less time than is needed to complete the investigation. Voss said Justice Gableman will have the resources and ability to determine the need for any future adjustments. Voss says he hoped to complete the work in the fall around the same time that the nonpartisan Legislative Audit Bureau completes its review that was ordered by the Republican legislator. Voss has called their review a multi-faceted forensic audit. I said it correctly, everybody. Thank you. Even as he has faced pressure from Trump and the Republican chair of the Assembly's Election Committee to do a review more similar to the one done in Arizona. Well, maybe they will. Maybe Arizona will get done with theirs and people will be like, because you got to remember the ones here in Arizona, they're saying that they're waiting to do this while they're doing all their calculating or whatever, right? But when they release it, they want it to be beyond reproach and undeniable, which is a tall order, especially in this political climate. Democrats have decried calls. President Joe Biden was awarded a Wisconsin victory by over 20,000 votes. Well, congratulations, Joe Biden. That's 20,000. That's close. Close, but good job. Democrats have decried calls for more investigations as feeding into conspiracy theories and lies. You know, the big lie, the Nazi thing, that Trump actually, maybe might not have lost by 20,000. Maybe it was less. Trump last month called out Voss and 2 other Republican legislative leaders, saying they were working hard to cover up election stuff. You shouldn't do that. Voss and the other Wisconsin Republicans said Trump was misinformed. I don't know what Trump's going on about. August 2025, maybe? Maybe. Even then, usually you're in by January. Taxpayer-funded NPR greenlights its reporters to be activists and protesters. Okay. Government-funded media institution. I didn't even know the government owned them, but I guess they did. born out of the goal to promote objectivity and prevent media bias, has now become one of Marxist cancel culture's leading voices in an alarming bid to normalize far left biases. National Public Radio, NPR, recently announced a revision to its ethnic policy, which would permit its so called journalists to demonstrate and overtly advocate for social justice causes that pertain specifically to the freedom and dignity of human beings. Well, I'd be interested if one of their employees goes to a freedom rally and see what they think about that. It is unlikely, however, that any NPR mouthpieces will be clamoring for the freedom and dignity of conservative political dissidents locked in Washington, D.C., detention centers, and subject to unconstitutional, inhumane treatment by the Biden Justice Department. The president, how about the border? They ain't going to do that. The presence of anti-American, non-capitalist funding and influencing in U.S. journalism, the rise of superficial opinion-affirming social media clickbait, and the field's infiltration by radical activists who reject the ethical creeds of the past have all pushed mainstream media from the routine, systematic bias that plagued newsrooms for decades to a more aggressive and malignant form of overt propaganda. We all know that. We're no better at Fox News. That's why I try not to watch the news too much. I don't mind watching local news a little bit, but even then they put in their comments. On local news, somebody died. Well, maybe he shouldn't have walked on somebody else's property without permission. Oh, wait, he owned that property? Oh, so he was like the landlord and the renter shot him? Well, the renter's not allowed to shoot the landowner. Yeah, no, right. Yeah. He lives there, but the dude owns the place. You know. It's going to have to get so bad that the average sheep would find life so not so comfortable to stand up and take notice. Here's the thing. People watch what they agree with. You're watching me because you agree with me. We had the one guy, and that's one reason. Then you watch to troll. Just like our troll came in here, right? Had an opinion, saw my title, saw Ashli Babbitt. Oh, I hate Ashli Babbitt and all those people who think that she shouldn't have been there. Right? So he's going around checking videos or somebody's on live talking about Ashli Babbitt. I gotta go tell them off, and then immediately leave because I don't have anything else. Right? Thank you so much for your propaganda-filled, CNN-derived fucking talking points that you come into my chat with and to have absolutely zero conversation about anything going on in this world at all. Just spew the talking point. You know, I'm a little bitter. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm petty. So what? Dude comes into my chat with his talking points and then bounces out. Gotta love that shit. But nobody's gonna do anything. Why? Because nobody is on the left is learning about how bad it is on the border. Why would they know anything about that? They lean left. They watch left programming, right? Left programming is not telling them about the crisis at the border. Left programming is saying, oh yeah, everything's fine. Same thing with the right side, I'm sure. Somebody come up with an example on that, maybe. Oh, I got an example. So I did watch a CNN thing on YouTube not too long ago that was talking about Fox News host and the whole sniffles and how they're dangerous because they're telling their audience not to get it when they've already gotten their sniffle shot. So they're telling people not to get the sniffle shot. Meanwhile, they'd gotten theirs. And it's funny because Fox News changed their shit. I'd watched the one video, and a couple days later, I'm watching some Fox News videos on YouTube. And sure enough, now when they're talking about the sniffles, they're like, well, now you got to talk to your doctor, and you got to figure out if it's right for you. You know, make sure you get double opinion, but make sure you do your own thing, because I'm not trying to tell you what to do or not to do. Yeah, Hey, you're actually still here. Cool. You're a pretty incel. You can't get laid. I can't get laid. Shit, bro. I get laid every damn time I want. I've been getting laid for a long time. Friday night and you little punks in your homes. Yep. Yeah. That one. Oh, she's not there. I got two. This is interesting. Why do I lean gay? Do you know anything about me? I've got a kid. But thanks very much for joining. Okay. That was stupid. If you actually wanted to have a conversation, that would be different. But going on and on and on about stupid things like that, when you obviously see that I have a wife, I just told you I have a kid. You don't want to have a conversation, so I don't want to have anything to do with you. You're more than welcome to leave. Don't forget to thumbs down the video before you head out. And try to start thinking. You don't even have to think right? I'm not trying to persuade anybody to think exactly. I just want people to think for yourself. And that's difficult to do, especially nowadays. Freedom Caucus. Cheney and Kissinger choose to leave GOP. Pelosi reign must end. I think this is an opinion piece. At first, I wasn't sure, but I thought maybe they actually got removed. Republicans in the House Freedom Caucus are pushing the GOP leadership to expel Representative Adams Kissinger and Liz Cheney from the conference, arguing that they chose to leave the GOP's caucus by joining a partisan January 6th commission. At the behest of House Speaker Pelosi, the conservative group is asking House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy to do two things. Make a privileged motion on the House floor to vacate the chair, which would trigger a new election for Speaker, and give Republicans another chance to oust Pelosi from the speakership. Make a privileged motion on the House floor to vacate the chair, which would trigger a new election for Speaker, and give Republicans another chance to oust Pelosi. Okay. Adopt a rule change proposed earlier this week that would remove any member who accepted a committee assignment that was not granted by Republican leadership or from a Republican steering committee. You made a great point. So how do we expose left-leaning people to the truth without freaking them out and reject? You can't. Because some people, and we're as guilty of it as anybody else. I know the best people. But I know some people on our side that it's the same way. They see some person with like colorful hair and tattoos and in goth or whatever, right? And they make their assumptions and they start calling them names. Hey, look at that libtard. Stop that shit to that guy. Or ma'am, I don't even know. Stop that shit. That doesn't do anything for anybody. That drives the division further and further apart, right? And that's the problem. We're getting way too divided as a nation. We can't talk to each other anymore. We have to make our little bitchy comment and then a whole bunch of stupid shit. Because he doesn't actually have anything to say. When you have nothing to say, that's exactly what happened right there. And us allowing that to be part of who we are individually, even on our sides, can't do that, man. If nothing else, don't assume just because somebody has their hair colored and has a nose ring that looks like you could pull them around like cattle, that, they're not a cool dude or a cool chick or a cool whatever, right? However they identify. What's up, Broken Patriot? How you doing? Yeah, you missed the trolling, bro. You should do the replay because you can't scroll up and see it now because I actually had to block his ass. Or her ass, or its ass. I don't know what your pronouns are, bruh. Representative Andy Biggs of Arizona, the chairman of the Freedom Caucus, proposed this rule change earlier this week, but it has not found much support among GOP House leaders, according to sources familiar with the discussions. The Freedom Caucus, however, said, I'm not surprised by this at all. It's not going to get much where. I don't think this is much of a story, to be honest, but it's interesting. I don't know why. The Freedom Caucus, however, says it will continue to push McCarthy and other leaders to adopt it. In conference, we discussed strategy, policy, and how to advance the Republican platform. It's antithetical to have sitting in your conference individuals who have professed that they want to take out the minority leader and that they want to join the Democrats on a witch hunt through the Republican Party to try to take these members out, or take these people out. Republicans' desire to oust Pelosi from the speakership has grown in the past week since she re-implemented a strict mask policy and threatened to have Capitol Police officers arrest anyone who didn't comply with. Yeah, other people, not lawmakers. We already read that yesterday. The lawmakers are exempt. So if somebody that's a congressman wants to not wear a mask, they're going to get written up, but they ain't going to get arrested. That spilled over into what appeared to be personal tensions after Pelosi responded to McCarthy's objections by calling him a moron. See? This name calling. You gotta love it when it gets to name calling. While we're responding to media questions. Jody Heiss called Pelosi's leadership a draconian authoritarian reign and said McCarthy has a responsibility to help Republicans end it. Biggs agreed and said that even if the efforts fail, it's worth a try. If you do not stand up to tyranny in the face of potential defeat, then you will never stand up to tyranny in a potential victory either, he said. That's a good quote. But there's a lot of other tyranny that maybe we should all be focused. I mean, there's been enough tyranny to choke a tarantula? No, it wasn't funny. Maybe there's only one chance out of 100 that we actually get to vacate that chair and she's removed, he continued, but I'd rather take that 1 in 100 shot. Okay, then. Just got home. Typical troll. They came in, said that Ashli Babbitt was trespassing and she deserved to die. I disagree with that, but I mean, they have every right to their opinion. And then I didn't hear from them for a while. Thought they left, to be honest. And then they came back and started saying names. You miss JP? Yeah, I miss JPTV3 too a little bit. I don't mind having difference of opinions, but that was like talking point. Boom. Right? You heard that on CNN. Boom. Comment. And then nothing. Right? And then I'm talking. And then all of a sudden, you're gay. You never had sex. You don't know what a pussy is. And I'm like, that's my wife. And my kid's married, bro. Like, all right, see you later. Have fun trolling somewhere else. House Oversight Dems hold political stunt hearing with super spreading Texas law. I hate the scofflaws. What's scofflaw? Oh, is that how you pronounce that shit? What's this? Let me look.
Okay.
Oh, wow, no. Impeachment peddling hack, Representative Jamie Raskin. I love how they start off with calling them a hack. Undertook a new crusade to spread disinformation about election integrity. We don't like people doing that around here. I mean, it is, what is it? It's July, almost August, 2021. Can we put this shit behind us already? Joe Biden is your president. This zealous pursuit of massive draconian crackdown is now a national crisis, said Chairman Raskin in his opening statement for the hearing titled Democracy in Danger, the Assault on Voting Rights in Texas. Citing New York's University's radical leftist Brianna Center, which is funded in part by billionaire oligarch Michael Bloomberg, Raskin raised the alarm that 18 states had enacted 30 new voting laws thus far, with more on the way, including Texas. We must fight back against the voter suppression campaign sparked by the big lie before it is too late, he said. The future of our democracy depends on it. It's a republic. It's not a democracy. Ironically, his attack on election integrity followed on the heels of an actual draconian power grab this week in the form of arbitrary new sniffle shot mandates imposed by the Biden administration. In fact, the evidence-focused risk being overshadowed by its prospect of becoming a super spreader event as Democrats invited several sniffle-exposed Texan lawmakers to speak. Already, they have infected a staffer from the House Speaker Pelosi's office and an unknown number of White House staffers. Biden might get taken out by the sniffles. Oh, that would be a way to get, what's her name? Kamala. Wisely, the committee opted to stream the Texas Democrats remotely into the hearing, during which Raskin himself appeared to ignore Pelosi's recent diktat that everyone be required to wear a mask upon threat of arrest. The hearing appeared to be the latest in a nonstop stream of efforts to push the House controversial H.R. 1 election overhaul bill, which would effectively strip states of their constitutionally vested power to oversee elections and hand that authority to the federal bureaucracy. It's a constitutional right. It's in the Constitution that states do their election. You're going to, I don't know how they're going to do this. You'd almost have to come up with a new constitutional amendment, technically, don't you? I mean, is that what H.R. 1 is? Because you can't make a law that goes against the Constitution. Legally, you're not allowed to do that. I know they do it all the time. But how are they going to explain this one? I'm sure they'll figure out a way, but I would be interested in that. You're going to strip away states' constitutional rights to oversee their own elections and make that a federal thing? That's another thing I think that states aren't going to be too happy about. And at some point, you're going to piss off states enough to the point where they like, you know what? Our voters want to succeed. We're just going to do it. Holy shit, Stephen Cowher. Yeah, I know he's having heart surgery. I saw the video of him announcing that. I didn't watch it. Has put on 3 titanium rods in his chest, pushed back in his ribcage. Yeah. You want to see? You hope they record this. He might. I try not to watch him that much either. He's kind of the same way. All right. The bill, let's see. Okay. The bill also seeks to codify many of the illegal practices that Democrats undertook during the 2020 election under the pretense of emergency pandemic rules. The GOP-led legislators such as Georgia and Texas have wasted no time trying to close the loopholes that led to these abuses. Republicans, including the subcommittee's minority member, Representative Pete Sessions of Texas, hammered the Texas Democrats for their cowardly, undemocratic effort to forestall the Texas legislation by depriving the state house of a necessary quorum. Republicans don't walk out, Sessions said in his opening statement. Well, I don't know about Texas Republicans, but I know it's kind of childish either way. We don't go on and accuse people of things just because we are losing, he continued. I would suggest to you that what is happening today in Texas is the right of all Texans are being withheld because members of the Democratic Party who are members of the state house choose not to be part of this. Others on the committee slammed Atkinson over the House Oversight Chairman Carolyn Maloney for their pointless waste of power and abuse of resources in service of yet another political stunt. The hearing title today claims there is an assault on voting rights in Texas, which would be very troubling if it were true, but it isn't, said Representative James Corner. Ripping off Rapskin's insistent repetition of the big lie trope, Adolf Hitler, to describe psychological manipulation of citizens through rhetoric trickery, Corner called on Democrats to demonstrate some self-awareness. Your hearing titles implies a big lie, Corner said. Today's Democrats are holding a hearing meant to convince us of the necessities of their bill, H.R. 1, that would federalize elections across this country. funnel taxpayer money to politicians and prevent common sense and popular integrity measures such as voter ID. He continued, once again, Democrats are engaging in spectacle over substance while conducting no real oversight. In addition to the desperate spectacle involving Texas Democrats, Raskin and Maloney recently attempted to prevent election transparency by launching a retaliatory investigation into Doug Logan, the lead author for efforts currently underway in Arizona, Maricopa County. Other states, including Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, have considered conducting independent audits of their own, but Democrats, for reasons unknown, have fought back viciously to thwart and discredit them. I wonder why. Texas State Representative Travis Clardy, a Republican witness for the minority, touched on what many suspect to be the case. The Democrats' refusal to participate suggests that they view the fairness as being inherently unfair to their side, since the only way they are able to win is by stacking the deck. You know as well as I do, this legislation has been negotiated in good faith and deserves your attention, Clardy said. Like every bill, it can get better, though the debate and deliberations, it's an exclusive process that has served us well and it is available to those who want to participate, he continued. Simply put, we should want to make it easier to vote and harder to cheat. Freaking men. I agree with that 100%. Make it easier to vote. Make it harder to cheat. You know, they're trying to get 24-hour voting. That's one of the complaints, that they don't have 24-hour voting. I don't know about y'all, but I only want my vote counted once. I'm not into cheating. I don't want to cheat to win. Cheating to win is not winning. Either way, I don't give a shit. What's up, Trance? How you doing? I'm assuming it's he, based on the comments that were made. Yeah. I've assumed that it's a kid. It's somebody in their 20s. I find it funny. It is. It's kind of sad. Because, like with JPTV3, right? We had good conversations. You know, we can all try to be open to different viewpoints. I know it's not going to save the nation. The nation, what's up, Iris? The nation is, as I said, has been started. It started to get in division in the 60s, as far as I'm aware. Maybe sooner. But from where I've seen it, it started in the 60s, and it just every election cycle just got a little bit further and a little bit further apart, to the point where now you have presidents and administrations criminally going after the previous administration. Trump's going to go to jail, maybe. And if he doesn't go to jail and he runs for 2024 and let's say he wins, what's he going to do the other side? So, as I said, we are getting to a point where we're taking away constitutional rights from states. All right, sorry, you had that constitution. We didn't make a new constitution. No, we didn't make a new amendment to the Constitution. We're just making a law that directly violates a constitutional protected right for states. No problem here. You got states suing the government. You got states suing states. You got the government suing states. I mean, oh my God. You have, if you're sleeping on it, you shouldn't be. You should be getting prepared, because whatever's coming is not going to be pretty, and I'm not looking forward to it. Everybody's like, man, I wish this thing would light up. No, you don't. No, you don't. Just as like Guns Coast to Coast says, these are the good days. Take advantage now with these good days, because what's coming, you're going to be wishing. You're going to be wishing you could go back to right now. You're going to be looking back at this time and like, damn, Stinger, he told me to get ready. He told me it was coming. These were the good old days. What's up, Irish? How you doing? Drive-through voting, in my opinion. Free cheeseburger for Democratic votes. There you go. You get yesterday's cheeseburgers, or I don't know what you get. Stranger, I just bought a Lynx 12. and was looking at videos, came across your old Sega videos. Hell yeah, bro. I don't have a Sega anymore. I have a Comrade 12 now. And you just, a Lynx 12. I believe I've seen that. That is a semi-auto shotgun too, I believe. Yeah, but I got the, now I have the Comrade 12, which is a short. I think the Lynx 12 is basically kind of like the Comrade, where it's in that gray area. It's not a shotgun, it's not a gun, it's not a pistol, it's not a rifle, it's not a shotgun. It's a firearm. ATF giving Texas shit right now. ATF is? What's the ATF giving shit about the Texas? I know the DOJ and a few other people are threatening Texas a few ways. If you can't do at least 100 burpees, you're not ready for shit to pop up. Right? Like, can we discuss 1 versus 100? Yeah. No, I don't know what me and Riddle will do if it does. We definitely got to get out of the city. That's the main thing. Get out of the city. But even then, you're excited about it? You're a sick fuck. Or are you talking about the Lynx? Lynx is a Chinese Saiga clone. Okay. Made at the Norinco factory. It's a full-size 19-inch shotgun. Oh, cool. So my Saiga was a full length. Man, that thing was long as shit. And it was heavy as fuck because I had an aluminum rail on it. So I got rid of that when I started having shoulder problems, and I traded it in and got me a Comrade 12, which is basically the same thing as the Saiga 12. In fact, I kept the magazines from the Saiga 12 because I knew they were going to fit the Comrade 12. Kalashnikov made basically a Saiga clone, but made it as a firearm, not as a shotgun. So your Saiga mags might work for yours too if it's a Saiga clone. But hopefully you didn't have to do all the conversions that I had to do. That's the main videos of the Saiga that I believe I still have up, is converting it over from the imported look to the actual, tactical shotgun look, which was probably the best thing I've done gunsmithing wise on YouTube. Guns and Gear did a video today about it. All right, I'll bite. Could have sworn. Give me 1 second. Here we go. All right. Yeah, why not?
The ATF just basically tried to put Texas in its friend of the family. But July 26th, took me a couple days to get to it because of everything I'm doing here. But it's an open letter to all Texas federal firearms licensees
wanting
to
to do
use
that
gun
made in
shops.
Texas thing.
The purpose of this letter
without
is
the
to
ATF
provide
committee.
guidance on your obligations as a federal firearms licensee in Texas. The following guidance is intended to assist you in accomplishing this goal. This letter does not impose any new obligations. It merely confirms the continuing applicability of existing federal obligations.
Yeah, basically what
The
they're
passage
saying
of
is your
Texas
whole
House
made in
Bill
Texas shit ain't gonna
957,
fly.
with an effective date of September 1st, 2021, has generated questions from industry members as to how this state law may affect them while engaged in a firearms business activity. HB 957 claims to exempt silencers, also known as suppressors, that are manufactured in Texas and which remain in Texas from federal firearms laws and regulations, including the federal registration requirements. However, because HB 957 directly conflicts with federal firearms laws and regulations, federal law supersedes HB 957, and of course, they are referring to the Supremacy Clause. In summary, all provisions of the Gun Control Act and the National Firearms Act, including their corresponding regulations, continue to apply to FFLs and other persons in Texas.
No suppressor
As you know,
for you
18
guys.
U.S.C. Section 923 requires a license to engage
Unless you
in the
do it
business of
outlaw style.
manufacturing or dealing in firearms, even if firearms remain within the same state. All firearms manufactured by a licensee must be properly marked. Additionally, pursuant to 27 CFR Section
Shotguns are never off
478.123,
topic, Trance. Don't worry
each
about it. Don't
licensee
worry
must
about it at
record
all. I
the
love
type,
talking about
model,
guns.
caliber, or gauge, and serial number of each firearm
carrying?
manufactured
What are you carrying?
or otherwise acquired, and the date such manufacture or acquisition or other acquisition was made. The required information must be recorded in the licensee's records no later than the 7th day following the date such manufacture or other acquisition was made. In addition to possessing a license under the Gun Control Act, 26 U.S.C. Section 5801 requires an FFL engaged in the business of manufacturing or dealing in NFA firearms, including silencers, to pay a special occupational tax. Furthermore, an approved ATF Form 4 and Firearms Transaction Record, ATF Form 4473, is required prior to the disposition of an NFA firearm, which under the NFA expressly includes a silencer, to an unlicensed person. The approved Form 4 indicates registration of the firearm/silencer to the transferee in the National Firearms Registration and Transfer Record. These federal requirements apply regardless of whether the NFA firearm/silencer has crossed state lines. If you have any questions regarding the federal firearms laws and regulations, please contact your local ATF office. ATF works closely with the firearms industry and appreciates the important role the industry plays in combating violent crime.
I mean, even in the law,
The listing of the ATF office phone numbers can be found at blah, 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 blah. Signed, Alfonso Hughes, the Assistant Director of the Enforcement Programs and Services.
To say, see,
So,
we did something good for the Second Amendment.
ATF is
knowing
trying to put
full
Texas
well
in its
that it
place
wasn't gonna
before
do
the new
shit.
law goes into effect on September 1st. What do you guys and gals think about it? I'd love to hear your point of view. The Supremacy Clause versus state rights. This is where we are right now. I really would like to see the State Attorney General and the Governor rise up and sue the Department of Justice and the ATF so that this goes to the court. That would be a good thing. This is how we can take chunks out of the NFA. A lot of people always ask me, Jared, how do we get rid of the NFA? Well, this is exactly how we can do parts of it. We're never going to have the whole thing removed, I don't think, unless something drastic happens. But something like this could take suppressors out of the NFA. Then you have the comment section for the ATF's frame and receiver. That's home builds, which has been legal forever. And the stabilizer, the stabilizing brace ban.
Pretty white.
Those are things that we also can take chunks out of the NFA. I'll have links down below. Please make a comment again and again and again. Get your friends to do it. Your mom, your dad, your uncle, your nephew, your neighbor.
Always wanting you to comment on the bill.
But, how can they say that something this big is more dangerous than something that's that big because it has a different type of end on it? It's not. There's millions and millions of those firearms out there, so they're obviously not a problem. They don't need to be further regulated. So that's how you get chunks away from the NFA. I keep doing this like I'm doing Baby Shark or something.
Tell them to shove it their ass.
But what do you think about the ATF?
Did you guys read it? Did you guys read? Well, I read it. Forget who originally. I think Glocker Bob is the one that told me about how he was going to get free suppressors and he was going to start making them in his garage. And then somebody else told me to look into it, and so I did. And then reading the bill, it says it really does. It says that suppressors are going to be totally non-NFA items as long as it says made in Texas. However, if you're going to make a suppressor that says made in Texas, before you do it, you have to ask your state law enforcement or your local law enforcement, who then is going to tell the person in government in Texas, who then is going to go ask the ATF. And if the ATF says, okay, then you can make that suppressor in Texas. But we all knew what the ATF was going to say. Texas put it in there, a back door that they could be like, they didn't say it was okay. In the language. So I don't think Texas lawmakers are going to fight on that one. Will they fight on other shit? Maybe. As I said, I think Texas might secede from itself before it secedes from the union, but there's some shit going down. Okay, we're talking a lot of computer stuff. Riddle did get her motherboard, and we're going to be getting something else this week. I don't know. Probably not the CPU, because she's getting like this really, really nice one. Oh, it's the Ryzen 5. Oh, well, that's, yeah, 560. Okay, it'll last you a long time. This is the same thing that happened in Kansas a few years ago, and a bunch of people got screwed. Yep, pretty much. And it's unfortunate because some people don't want to read the bill. They heard that their Republican representative just made suppressors legal in Texas. And they're like, thank you. You got my vote next time. That's how easy that was. How many of those people who are now very excited with their representatives are going to vote for them next time because they did something to bring back your gun rights? Not reading the bill, not seeing that they actually put, they're going to be bitching at the government more. Oh, they're trying to screw with Texas. You're going to get people pissed off. The one I'm looking at is $115. Kill. Yeah. I mean, if that's where you want to save your money in your CPU, $115 versus $269. So it's double. It's more than double. I mean, yeah. You can save your money there. There are certain places that I want to save money. I'll be building an AR-10, for example. So the AR-10, where I'm going to save the money, is everything but the barrel and the bolt carrier. The barrel and the bolt carrier are what I want to spend the most money on. Why? Because those are the most important parts of the accuracy. What's the most important part of the computer? The CPU, the motherboard, and the graphics card. Those are the biggest ones that matter the most. If your motherboard can handle a 5600X, then you're trying to make the cheapest thing you can that's going to operate the cheapest way it can. Or you can cheap out on certain things and then only put a little bit of extra money towards the things that actually matter. CPU being one of them. And that's how you build a budget build. It's not the shittiest, but where it counts, like the CPU, is where, where you need to put a little extra money into and not totally cheap out. Now, it's up to you what you do. I mean, if you cheap out on that, that's fine. I'm sure it'll do what you want for a little bit, right? I've always been under we got a new sous vide machine. I could have gotten one for $30. I didn't buy one for $30. I bought the one for $200 for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons is the one that's $30 is not going to last nearly as long as the one that's $200. How many of those $30 ones am I going to buy over the years? Not to mention the convenience factor. This one will hook up to my phone and give me an alert. I can do touch on it. It's waterproof, which a lot of these things are not. And I would imagine the $30 one is not waterproof. Exactly how that all works, I don't know, but I don't want to electrocute myself. I don't have to worry about it. All right? So there's different places to save your money. And for me, it's always been get the best that I can afford at that time. Because if I get the cheapest one that I can afford, right, and I save money so I can do something else with it, then that breaks and I have to buy another one of those. You know how many freaking can openers I've bought over the years? I'm done buying can openers. I finally spent, I think, $30 on a can opener. Maybe might have been 40 or 50. It might have even been 50. But we got a KitchenAid can opener now, manual, right? No batteries. It's not going to break. This thing, amazing. I don't ever have to, as long as I don't lose it, I will never have to buy another can opener again. And I have spent way more than that on can openers trying to save $1. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going off on a tirade now. But if the state stands up, the feds can't do shit after a while. Same thing has happened with MJ legalization, marijuana legalization. I think marijuana is not a big deal. I think marijuana is not nearly as big a deal. I think guns is a big deal. I do not see the government backing down on that one at all. I hope so. But as I said, if you read the Texas law that they got through, it clearly states that it's still up to the ATF, and all federal laws still apply. So I don't even know how they got that, how people did not realize that. We had channels talking about that. Well, about that whole law and how Texas was getting constitutional carry. Bitch, it's not even constitutional carry. It's permitless carry. right? So there's a whole bunch of stuff there. Anyway, that's all I got for you. We ended up having to buy an electric can opener after breaking 5 manual ones in a year. I'm telling you, how much money are we going to waste on can openers in our lifetime? I'm happy to say I think it's been at least 10 years that we've had this can opener now. And even if it was $50, I know I bought more than $51 piece of shit can openers over my lifetime. So just I don't know. Just my own advice that I've learned over the years, right? Don't ever buy the cheapest. Don't always have to buy the most expensive. But do the research you can do, right? That's why I don't have a high point. High points are a great gun. I guess the newer ones are shit, apparently. I don't know. I haven't looked into it enough, but I had a Ruger P95, which was a 9mm thing, was as wide as a high point, and I would never ever want to carry a high point. They're heavy. They're not concealable at all, right? So you gotta make those decisions. As far as how they go bang, I've never seen any problems except for on torture test or whatever. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Make sure to check out the descriptions down below. It's got all the places to follow me, all the ways you can donate to the channel if you so want to. If you do, thank you very much. 50% of whatever you donate will be going to my good friend, the Rally Point Irish. That's Irish USMC vet. He's got a GoFundMe set up called Rally Point Irish, where he's trying to get money raised for a location in Tennessee where people can stay room and board free while learning new skills like farming, blacksmithing, and gunsmithing. So go check that out. All the places to follow me, all the ways to donate. And if you like the content, give the video a like, share it with the friends that you think would like this kind of content. And I will see you tomorrow for the Bible chat, and then next Monday for the next evening catch up. Much love you. Well, love you too, Trance. Thanks for being here. Thank you for everybody who's been here. I do appreciate it. Until I see you next time, make sure to keep that family close. Watch out for that government. Try to live as free as you can in this world, and be ready to pay the consequences, just like Ashli Babbitt did, unfortunately. Peace.